Hello my friends. The days to my jury rigging fences on my bandsaw are limited. I ordered a fence that's a Kreg from Amazon, and we think that this might be the solution to my problems. I just hope that it will fit my bandsaw. So we're going to find out. We're going to see what this fence looks like. When I ordered it, I looked at some of the different fences, and this one looked like a universal that had better features to it. So I liked what I saw and what I read. That's it right here. It cost me about Kreg. It cost me about $100 for this fence, but all the years that I've been jury rigging a fence, it should be well worth it. I guess in case it's not self-explanatory, there's a book for it. Here's the fence itself, extruded aluminum. Has these T-slots in it so that you can use a T-nut in there and connect jigs and fixtures onto it. That looks like the rail that will mount to the saw. To the saw table, and I really don't know what these parts are, so it looks like I will have to look in the manual. This is nice, a tape measure, so once you set your cut, it will be a precision cut on the marker. We'll open that as we assemble. That's the package right there. Well, we'll take it over to the saw. I'll briefly look at the instructions here, and this is what it should look like when it's on the table saw, or the bandsaw table, and see how it goes together. What you find yourself, what you might find you have to do is the clamping block, when it rides in front or across at these points right here, points of contact, it just brushes because it's set to be the same width as the mounting rail. So what you may have to do is loosen these up and insert a washer between the rail and the bed. This is what we had at our shop, and that's why it's there, so that there is some clearance. Now that's not mentioned in the manual. So this is going to be a modification that was kind of overlooked when they put this whole set together, or unit together. Okay, this side here, it's loosened. And we move that up so it's parallel. That's it right there. Snug this one up. check them both. And double check. Perfect. That's very snug. Now we need to put the fence together. This is the clamp block. It consists of two different parts. This part will hold the fence. This rides in the mounted rail. Okay, this upper part has two holes and one is larger than the other. That allows you to make slight adjustments with the fence to get it making a parallel cut with the line of the blade. And if your blade has a drifting action, it can allow you to make an adjustment for that. So these two have to be connected first. And also this block has a slot in it for the window that reads the roller, the tape that's mounted on the rail. Okay, this item here is the guide, and that will insert in here like that. Okay, then it comes with a nylon screw and that nylon screw comes down and holds this. This will allow for fine adjustments after the ruler tape is mounted onto the rail. And then the tape will go on this part of the guard, and you can see here that small red line will give you your readings. There's brass washers that are supplied with this, which is really nice. And you don't get to see brass being used that much anymore. Okay, now when you mount this piece, you want the larger hole on the back side for that adjustment. We won't have these snugged up real tight yet. This will allow us to set things and set the alignment before they get locked in. Okay, there are some nylon glides. It's hard for me to see which side has the slot in it. They go in this end, and this is to reduce the friction to allow this clamping block to slide easier on the metal jig or the mounting rail. Okay, when these are placed in there, you need just a tad coming up, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And what that will do is remove some of the friction that rubs on there. Okay, now the next thing is, these are also nylon. These will go on this side. And it'll give also a low friction gliding action to this, to the back side of the block. Okay, those have an Allen set wrench on there. These are the bolts that will go through the fence and connect it to the clamping block. And this section here, this is the block. And that secures the clamping block. Okay, this fence is an extruded piece of aluminum, and it has what's known as T-slots. And this T-slots allow the insertion of bolts to do locking. And this fence will allow you to clamp it this way or this way, and because of the slots, it can allow you to have the fence even shy of the cutting blade. So it makes it a little more universal. So we insert both of the bolts. And again, you have the two brass washers. Can't see the side I'm working on. And then these nuts go on. This will lock it on. There, let me show it this way. Okay. Okay, that's the base set. Next thing to do is the adjustment of the fence to the saw. One of the first things that I have to do is make sure that my blade is at a 90 degree to my table. So I'm going to check that first. And what I'm doing is I'm not going to deflect the blade. I don't want to push on the blade like that. I'm going to bring this square up close, and right here I'm very close to touching, and up here I can see a gap. So I loosen my locking and adjust the table. Triple checking. Right on. Okay, these Allen set screws, they're nylon. They come down and press on the rail. And what this will also do is allow you to get the fence perpendicular to the table by adjusting these up and down. So just like I did with the blade, I look at that vertical gap, and I'm doing that with my fence. And right there. Perfect. Okay, this is parallel with the blade, cutting of the blade. So what I'm going to do is put my fence on this side, and I'm going to make the fence parallel with this slot. So I'm going to lock my clamp in on the table here. Fence is locked. Now I'm tightening the fence. The fence will now be parallel with the miter gauge slot. Okay, this is the ideal situation. However, when you're cutting with a saw blade, a lot of times if the blade is dulled or not set perfectly, your cut will have a drift angle, and you may have to readjust this fence so that your workpiece will follow that drift angle when you're cutting. So that's an easy adjustment with the two nuts right on this side. But right now, if that was making a perfect cut, this fence is adjusted. For the cut, it's adjusted vertically, so it's perpendicular to the table, and it's adjusted for the travel of your cutting. Okay, the last thing that I need to do is zero this out, so I'm going to bring my fence right up to the blade. That's my zero location, and right here on this where we have the red line. Okay, we need to mark that location, and we're going to put our tape on it right where the red line is going to be. This will get us real close, and like I said before, this set screw will allow this to move in and out for a fine adjustment. So I can see my mark right here, and this tape, it's a self adhesion. Okay, there's my zero right at that reference line. So we need to peel this back, and our reference line is on there. Now we have to attach this tape, and this is setting inside a groove so that the tape won't be getting rubbing action. We'll set a cut there, then I'll measure the cut and then adjust my red reference line to the cut. And the reason I don't want to do it on the zero mark is I don't want my blade rubbing onto the fence when I'm doing the cutting. Well, there's the installation, and it's on my rigid bandsaw. Perfect. Thanks for watching, my friends. Bye-bye.